guess my chair is dying on me. What up, peoples? Peoples. See if we got anybody to hang out with us tonight. All right. And let's see here. Let's go back over to this tab. Make sure everything is set up correctly. Looks like it is. Beautiful. Okay. And last but not least. And gifts and off topic. Paste it up. I need to get myself a better set of headphones, but these will do for now. Leveling up that minion life support for the win. What are we carrying? What are we carrying? Yeah. Okay, so we need, we'll pick that up right quick. Need to hit up some town right quick. Man, kind of sucks. This was almost really good. If this had one more link, it would actually be freaking perfect. Because those are, well, no, it wouldn't. I'd have to play with the colors a bit, but playing with the colors isn't hard. But I mean, that's, it's so close to being what I need. I don't think it's worth using fusings on, but it'd be pretty baller if I pulled it off. I didn't pull it off, guys. That sucks. I came close to pulling it off. I need, what do I need for mine? For my build? Sin. Yep. Let's see here. I need to go look at what colors I need because I don't remember honestly right now. let's see here. Gear. We need 3 blue, 2 green, 1 red. Yeah. Give that another go. Almost. I don't think this is really worth me doing. There it is. That would be the correct color combination. If I could get the fusings to fuse it for a 6.
Greetings.
How much do fuses cost? I think it's cheaper to buy them on the it's cheaper to buy them on, what's it called? The website.
Dude, I fucking asked you to record that shit, you bastard.
I forgot.
Castration. Double castration. What's going on, Path?
Yeah, I'm streaming some Path right now.
Oh, do I need to shut up?
It doesn't matter. What do jewelers do? Reforges the number of sockets. We don't want to do that. Let's see. How do I want to go about doing this? Let's just boop. Really not that good, to be honest. So what we'll do is we'll put it up for sale. We'll sell it for an ALK. Why not? See if anybody picks that up. That's what I spent on it, was an ALK, so yeah.
Hello.
Make my money back. What the hell? The lacquered garb. Okay, so yeah. I wonder, let me check some of those currency here. Wonder if one ALK for each 6 socket item. Get 3 or more. 3 bonus ALK. Let me check something here. Let me just set myself to AFK. If I want jeweler's orbs and I have ALKs, I would trade 5 ALKs for 12 jeweler's orbs. So I want Alks. Where is jeweler's orbs? Up there and there. Search. Okay. Each Alk is worth 2.6 jeweler's orbs. I can cash that. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on. Alright. So this sells for 7. Yeah, alright. So we're going to do it this way. Is that what that is? Is that a jeweler's orb?
Fucking
Yeah.
Harvey's a category 4.
Yeah.
One of the largest in history.
Can't see why I'd want to do that here. Hello.
Okay, so what was happening is as soon as I posted this and as people were instantly trying to buy it, which tells me that I had them severely underpriced, so I've repriced them. We'll see if they sell it all now. If not, I'll sell them later, to the vendor, because it doesn't really matter to me. They're worth at least 7 Alks, so, I mean, jewelers. Those actually aren't too bad.
Journey well. Greetings. Go with courage.
Alright, I forgot what I was doing. We're gonna go back to here. That was work, man. D. Goodbye, Groost. You got beated, bro. You weren't even hard. You was a joke.
When you try to control everything, you ultimately control nothing. Ralakesh has never quite been able to grasp that concept.
Or Ralakesh. What did I get? I think I got, yeah. Reduce physical damage over time taken while moving. Avoid bleeding. What am I using? Yeah, I'll keep what I have, thanks.
Hello.
What's up?
Crafting gear.
What's up?
I'm crafting gear.
Why are you crafting gear?
Just got new spell maces that give me an extra 12% damage without crafting.
Nice. Are you talking right now, enemy? Worst enemy. Motherfucker just sits in channel but don't talk to us.
What are you talking about?
Worst enemy. He's sitting down there, his mic's lighting up, but he's not saying anything.
I just got back. You said anything to me?
Ah, no. I asked how your night went.
It was kind of slow for a Friday, honestly.
I'm not really surprised. A lot of people are traveling right now for vacations and shit right before school starts and going back in home for moving before school starts because school starts on Monday and then you got all this shit going on down the coast, so not surprised by that.
They're hiding from the hurricane.
Well, we don't live anywhere near the hurricane. A lot of people are going down there to help with the hurricane.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are out of housing. This is going to be an enormous hurricane.
It's a nice. Supposed to be category 4.
It already is a category 4 right now.
One of the largest ever. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, I don't think that anybody getting put out by it or receiving any type of detrimental effects by it, but I love weather.
So I definitely think that my next character I want to try to build my own build for.
My mana is gone.
Hey, somebody go on my Twitch and type something so I can test if my chat's working. I can hear enemy moving shit around when he queues up, but I can't hear him speaking.
His 20-year-old Mike just took a shit.
I guess so.
That would only slow me down.
Alright, it's working. Cool. Thanks. Enemy, I'm gonna stab you in the dick.
are you now?
I am 60.
What are you playing?
Me? I'm a ranger.
I almost totally just said Path of Exile.
You're a goofy son of a bitch.
Yes. There's an Asmeri shrine tucked away in the northern forest. Groost took me there, told me it was a memorial to those who had gone before him, a place where their spirits could rest. When he passed, he wanted his remains to be laid
I
to
told
rest
Holly.
with the bones of his people.
She's sitting in the room with Josh. Josh is passed out because he's,
I find
you know,
it
a
difficult
wuss.
to even think about it.
So I told him
But
to
I
just
doubt
run
it
over
will
there and
recover.
start screaming at him. The mines were right. The mines were right.
He gave me his necklace, the fangs he earned when he rose from boyhood to manhood.
That's
handed
funny.
it to me for safekeeping only moments before Relakesh. It's almost as if he knew what was to come. Please, could you deliver this necklace to the shrine?
Yeah, I'll deliver his necklace. Oh, I got a reward waiting. I forgot about this reward. Okay, let's sell this stuff right here. Alright. 51 armor. Rarity. Cold resistance is nice, but not getting. No, it's all wrong. Fuck you. Fire damage, physical damage. Attack speed. It's not bad. Holy shit, that's got a lot of lightning damage on it. That would be fucking awesome for throw. Crazy. Alright, do you have any good items to buy? Let's check it out. Doesn't look like it. Oh wait, yeah, there's one. Winning. Almost. I'll give you that back.
Go with courage.
Go with courage. Why did I not sell that? That's interesting.
Hello.
What? Oh.
Farewell.
Yep. If you have Eco Wraith, it's even more, or Echo Wrath, whatever you want to call it. You can run the boots. I ran Pride as in fucking legs, and I was able to DPS it well enough to only get a single Infernal spawn before I got to phase 2. I was only fucking up one part, come to find out. As soon as I saw what I was fucking up, I killed it in two pulls. I was trying to stay right up on Cruel, because several guys had said if you get too far away, he void bolts you. And that's not how it works. He void bolts the thing that's the farthest away from him. So as long as you keep somebody else farther away than you are, he'll never void bolt you, and you can just fucking kite the guy.
You truly are a hero of the modern age.
The first pull that I did, I got him down to 26k and died.
I must say I'm really quite relieved.
I know.
I feared we were headed towards another theocratic dictatorship. Exile allowed me to be free of one. I had no wish to experience another. You deserve to be rewarded for your efforts. Here, something with a little insight would suit your purposes nicely.
So what you do is the 4 ghosts come out. You do not, when they come in, you swipe once, then you thrash to hit them all. Swipe again if you can, and just before they get their cast off, you either need to touch an orb or use your growl, the AoE growl that disorients. That's why I run guttural, by the way, so I can use that over and over again. and you'll disorient them all, so it stops their cast. But once they're disoriented, either by the orb or by your guttural, they take no damage, so don't waste your time. Give it about a 2 or 3 count. Thrash again. You know, swipe again, they should be dead.
Can't see why I'd want to do that here.
You can apply Moonfire to them while they're invulnerable. It just won't do any damage, but it'll start ticking as soon as, you know, that wears off.
Very well.
Greetings. Keep your life to your own. Greetings. Keep your life to your own.
You can go pull me up on Armory. I'm in the exact gear that I logged out in the exact gear that I did the thing in. What are you doing, Mr. Baz? Oh, you're playing Path right now? What are you playing as? I have considered playing a Bow Ranger next. I may try Bow Shadow as well, haven't decided. Ooh, magical stuff right there. What did I get? The Screaming Eagle. This guy's worth a regret or a chaos orb. See you in a minute, dude. What up, Mr. JT? That's another level for Orb of Storms. Oh, nice. Holy shit. I mean, obviously that's not the greatest thing, but that was still really nice. I got a Blessed Orb out of that one. There's a Blessed Orb? I think I know, but I want to make sure. Yep, that's what I thought. Fucking awesome. Yeah, I know, dude, but I know that sometimes you don't like me to say your name, so I was not saying it that time. Sorry, guys, I'm not meaning to talk in Discord and stream at the same time. Hello, Minty. Yes, I did. How you liking Path of Exile, Justin? Thanks, man. No, I didn't have time to work on it last night. I did it today. Which, read the stats to me. Read the stats to me. TOS, I think. Your best bet is type in Google because I can't look right now. And I don't remember off the top of my head. Sit. Glad you're liking it, dude. I mean, we're going to be talking to a resto druid, a hunter, in the next couple days that are friends and relations of Elfin. And then I've got a few DPS that I'm going to talk to in the next couple days. I don't know. I think Squid found like a Windwalker maybe, and I don't know if Baz or Al have found anybody new yet.
That would only slow me down.
We already had one. Mox was already being moved out of tank before he decided to drop down. Elfin's coming in as he has a 925 Brewmaster that he's going to tank on. Not doing what? What? One sec. Blizzard CS. To get max rewards, you will need to do a 15. That's direct off of the Blizzard CS Twitter. I'm gonna trust the Blizzard CS Twitter over what a lot of people are saying.
I feel I have failed my poor. Farewell. Greetings.
Alright, nothing's worth selling there. Nope. I don't even know why I had that. Nope. Nope. Nope, nope. Okay, turn all that stuff in. Let's store this stuff. I don't know what this is. Something new I've never seen before. Okay, oh wait, this needs to be put away. And let's Control T, or not Control T. Exact price, chaos. Orb of chaos. Yeah, so 1, go. How much are you worth? 1 alchemy or 1 fusing. Somewhere in here, I have a, right there, sapping divine flask. Alright, we need, wait, I don't have any points to put there. I need to do my labyrinth first. You're crazy. Baz has too much time on his hands. Now, we will most likely meant to have the guild ready to go again by Tuesday, if things work the way I intend them to.
Man, I hope everything works out for you guys.
It will.
Fuck off, Minty.
It always does.
I don't give a fuck about you, Baz.
Apparently. You don't give a fuck about any of us.
No, that's not true at all.
Very true.
It's not
Completely
true
true.
at all.
I didn't need immediately pay you off because I felt like it didn't matter.
Well, you technically didn't pay me off, but
So I owe you.
43k.
I sent you fucking 40k yesterday.
Oh, I haven't got on my monk. Sorry. Is that where you sent it?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't got on my monk since went emo and quit raiding. Because of work.
Yeah, we'll see in 3 weeks if you quit rating.
Yeah, you're probably
I
right.
give him like a week and a half tops.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Same thing I told Sid. You guys are overreacting to drama and stress, but hey, it's y'all's calls.
Like I said, I don't give a fuck. Get rid of everybody and start over again. Ain't no fucking sweat off my shoulder. Done it before, we'll do it again. You realize that the Prophet Valen actually DPSs in this thing?
Yeah, that's why you drag him to him.
This dude's doing like 20k, man. Fucking elite.
It's better than he does in Hearthstone.
I don't play Hearthstone. I didn't know you could play Valen. Thought you had to play like Anduin or some crazy shit.
Well, yeah, but the priest, one of the priest legendaries is Prophet Valen, and he's garbage.
And then he bounced out.
Poor Minty and his wife. Probably went to talk to him. I don't know what to do in WoW.
Play Path.
I don't want to do that either. No, because I don't get to play with anybody. So it's boring.
Play leagues. I mean, me and Beth just level new characters.
We're talking about League, though. I don't want to play something that I have to start over on. That's why I don't level new tunes in WoW. I don't like starting over. Got the same damn tunes forever.
The fuck is this big motherfucker? And where? Ah, I was stuck.
You get into maps on this character before the weekend hits.
So
Yeah,
I
what
don't
the
understand
fuck?
the point of maps. Like, you go into a tier 1 map, right? And you're clearing it, you do it, and you don't find anything. So you just do another tier 1 map until you don't find anything. Then it drops a tier 2 map, and you do the tier 2 map, right? Is that all it is? You just get better maps each time you go up a tier?
Well, you get better maps, more XP, better loot.
The maps
like-
carry stats just like the items do.
To me, it kind of seems like rifting in Diablo.
It is just a lot more in depth.
I don't know, man. The torment system's pretty in depth.
The tragedy is
I get bored of Diablo.
kind may turn something as pure and honorable
I
as
get bored of Path.
into such a vicious weapon of wrath and butchery. I only hope that Graf
I would probably be even more bored of Diablo than I am if I had 100%ed my conquest. Like, I literally need one more fucking thing, and I've done everything for this season, other than, like, topping leaderboards, but that's not where I'm gonna go, because I'm not fucking... I don't have the Asian skiers, so it's not gonna happen.
You don't want to put in 20 hours a day for the full 3 months.
Farming for Primal Ancients? Nah, I'm good. Necro's really cool. I'll probably play again next season and, 100% it within like a couple weeks, like I did this season.
So, GGG announced that they're going to do a mini X pack before the next, for the end of the year.
Really? What are they adding?
I don't know. Like this that we're playing right now is already an X pack. They're going to do a mini
I know
X.
that, but
They're going to do a mini X
announced that
pack
a long
now.
time ago.
No spirit deserves to be abandoned. No matter
Like the thing that they were talking about, I didn't realize it was already in the game, and I didn't realize it was going to be free either. But they announced the what we're doing now a long time ago.
Yeah, everything will be free. So that's the best part about PoE. Better game than Diablo, and it's free.
There's parts of Diablo I like better,
I agree.
but I do not take away the fact that Path of Exile is a fucking amazing game. Absolutely amazing. I love it to death. But I like Diablo as well. I like both.
I'd like Diablo more if they actually started doing shit with their content.
What has it been? 10 years?
Yeah,
Yep, that's the issue.
we've been
right
playing
there.
the same. We've been playing the same fucking meta. Barely touch any of the items and play the same build for like 3 seasons in a row. Play the same fucking shit for a whole year.
It's pretty ridiculous. Everybody seems to be speculating on a Diablo MMO. And I'm not adverse to that, but my personal opinion is I don't think that's what they're going to do.
It'd be fucking dope though.
I think they will, just because they made Diablo a Diablo MMO with the classes from D3 and D2. It wouldn't do as good as WoW did when it launched, but I think it would do better than WoW's doing right now.
On behalf of the ancestors, cowardly or not, the way.
They would have to, which is not out of their realm of capabilities, but have to start instilling some heavy lore issues behind a lot of things. And I think it would be very cool, especially like visiting the old, like the sisters. Like if you read the Diablo 1 manual, it talks about the sisters of the rogues, the sisterhood of the, fuck, I can't even remember what it is. You know,
Traveling dance.
anyway, they have a lot of like stuff that you could go visit that would be really cool. I get that. I don't think that is the direction they're wanting to go. Just based, I don't know. I could be 100% wrong. It's just my personal opinion. You know?
Oh my god, I fucking found it.
I think the best thing that they've done is announce Destiny with Activision. Best thing that happened this year.
I disagree. Legion's been very successful and one of the best expansions they've ever launched. Tomb of Sargeras was extremely successful.
Well, yeah, but it's not all about success. Although
What?
I don't play WoW as a job.
I thought you were talking about using that as the metric, is why I responded with that.
No. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was great expansion. Everybody loved it. And then, like, once they realized how much time and effort that people had to put into it, I just love every interview where they're like, we don't want to make WoW a job. Yet you have to AP farm, you have to legendary farm.
What you're referring to is less than 1% of the population.
That's true.
So you're also taking a statement to say that this portion of the player community who's bitching about it versus the portion of the player community that bitches about there's no content. Oh, it's a job. There's no content. You have to find a balance there. Legion, the ability to level and gear alts has been one of the strongest they've done since, MoP was probably the easiest. Legion is right there with it right now. So and with the way the AP grind and catch-up systems have been instilled in place, anybody that's saying that is an absolute fucking moron and deserves to go slit their fucking throat and has no idea what the fuck they're talking about.
The only incarnation of understanding that I could possibly have toward anything that was just mentioned is the alt catch-up mechanics were not in place at the beginning of Legion.
And that I can agree with. And in the beginning, it was much slower to grind your AP. Intended to be so.
For alts, though.
And for a good reason. And as the expansion has progressed, the catch-up mechanics to allow you to get there with your alts has progressed, which is how content should be.
And I'm not trying to say that your opinion doesn't matter, because I understand where you're coming from. It's just I think it's a little too broad, and you're using somebody's statement on something as an overall where it was intended specifically for a certain audience. I'll 100% agree with
Penetrator, I have no idea what you're saying, buddy.
Top, you have to do 7 fucking split runs. Is it fucking jarring on you? Well, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that statement at all. But I will vehemently disagree with the casual player, can't play anymore because there's too much grind. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, I never said a casual player can't play because it's too much grind. To be a top tier raider, you literally have to grind AP.
Nah.
I don't. I probably have a higher level out of weapon level than anybody in this guild.
Unless you get really lucky, though, you got to grind the fuck out of legendaries.
You do have to grind legendaries. I'll agree with that. But I mean, at the same time, the legendary system was meant to be completely random, and it's pseudo random. About as pseudo random as you can make it. But I don't agree that to be a top tier player, you have to grind AP. In fact, if you go back and look at some of Sko's later videos on talking about the AP grind, he's like, yeah, we fucked up with that. There was really absolutely no need for it.
So,
even with AP aside, it's still a job to grind your legendary. When you have to have your 2 BIS legendaries, if your class is legendary specific to doing damage, you can't raid. You get set.
Are you raiding in Method or Exorcist?
No.
What guild have you been set from because you didn't have them?
I'm not talking purely based off of me.
What the thing is that I'm talking about is the number of times that actually occurs is so few and far between, but yet it's brought out here like it's a mass statistic that's affecting all players. You're talking once again about a statistic that accounts for less than 0.5% of players most likely. And realistically, that comes down to the way a guild is being run. And a guild that's going to be run like that is going to find any single 1% gain that they can to say, well, you're not good enough, so we're sitting because of this.
I mean, they're the best of the best of the best. You have, I mean, and we're going back to the success story of, wow, World of Warcraft is very successful. Whenever it is that successful, you have a very broad spectrum of people that you can plug.
It's
you can be that picky.
It's kind of like saying, like, okay, let's say we're the top, we're the best guild in the world, right? We've got to have something to vet players on to decide, what's the quality that we're trying to bring. All right, well, this guy on this boss had 5,000 more clicks than this guy. So because of that, we're going to take him. If there were no other measurable stats other than clicks, this dude did 4,900, this dude did 5,000, we're going to take the dude that did 5,000. You get what I'm saying, Al? They're always going to find anywhere they can find a min-max, they're going to use that as a unit of measure. But that does not affect anything outside of, like I said, less than 1% of the population. And if it in the rare occurrences that it does, that is simply a mentality chosen by that guild and how they're going to, set their guild up. It doesn't mean that is the way it is. And that's never going to change no matter how the game has changed. Part of MMOs is that it is meant to be a time sink, and thus there will always be a grind factor. Always.
There's also a thing about it is, Method's the best guild in the world, right? Give or take. Does anybody disagree with that?
I mean, I think they're them and Exorcist are the only guilds that compete.
So Method and Exorcist are the two best guilds in the world, right? Anybody disagree with that?
Currently,
Neither one of them have a single player that has a rank 1 ranking on aggregates. What does that mean?
Means they don't give a shit about the aggregates.
It means they don't give a shit about people outside of them, and they don't give a shit about statistical value. They play the best that they possibly can and know what their capabilities are in-house. And they say they do exactly what JD does. They create their own metrics, because when you're at the top, you create the standard. I think that came out correctly.
Anyways, this all started because you said what, Al, that you felt that the best thing they've done was announced Destiny? Is that right?
I don't remember. What did you say?
the best thing they've done this year was announce Destiny, and Legion wasn't this year. Legion was last year.
I was referring to the success of it and Tomb Sargeras, and it's still an ongoing game. I mean, it didn't die, so.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that was what they had released last year.
So
of course, it's ongoing.
I feel that the fact that Blizzard and Activision are now combined is only going to make Destiny better.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this year, that's the only thing Blizzard announced, other than Hearthstone expansion and hint at doing something with Diablo.
BlizzCon hasn't happened yet, where they're going to do their announcements.
So there's a couple of key factors that, unless I just missed some massive news article, Blizzard has literally nothing to do with Destiny.
Activision bought Blizzard.
Activision has owned Blizzard for many years now.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that
they have nothing to do with Destiny. They had a team that was working on the Titan project, which was cut and moved over to the Destiny team when they partnered with Bungie, because Bungie makes Destiny. So yes, Activision will sell Destiny through their Blizzard platform because they own that platform and it reaches a very large audience. Blizzard literally has nothing to do with Destiny. And I'm not refuting your point. I'm just saying, be aware that Blizzard is owned by Activision. Activision partnered with Bungie because Bungie got themselves released from Microsoft and released from Halo so that they could come and make Destiny.
Yeah, it's not like the WoW team works on Destiny. And I don't want to take this away. I played the absolute shit out of Destiny. The Destiny one. It was fun.
I'm very interested in Destiny too.
I mean, I have all the hard mode gear right now on my character from the hard mode Fall of the King. What's it called? The Fallen Taken King or whatever. I have all the hard mode gear, the skins, the ship. I have everything. I love that game. It got really boring at in game because once you do all the hard mode and get all the hard mode shit, what's the point of keeping on playing?
PvP.
What's that?
PvP.
I didn't really enjoy the PvP. I like the fact that it was a game and there was a story, and I like going out and doing things like that. I'm an RPG fan, and it was a first-person RPG to me, if that makes sense. The PvE was really fun.
I do agree though that that's definitely something to look forward to. I don't want to take away from that sentiment.
Man, they're going to announce a future Diablo title in what is it? November the 4th, I believe. Let me look.
I will be interested to see what they do with their Diablo universe and IP, because right now it's tanked extremely heavily, and with what the direction they were trying to go with esports and whatnot, there is an area it could fill, but it requires changing some of the mindsets about the game. And so I am interested because there's been a lot of whispers about that as well, about moving Diablo into more of an esports category. And so I'm interested to see if they try to go that route, what they try to do.
Well, remember whenever it was first announced that, I mean, they had the whole arena thing, you could see it. Where's the arena at? I mean, they had people beta testing it and stuff. They had people that you could play that arena.
The arena's there.
What's that?
The arena's in Diablo.
There's
Just
no
sucks.
competitive arena.
Because it sucks.
There is no competitive arena that you go into and fight against other players.
So what are you referring to as the arena?
In Diablo, there is an arena where you can go in PvP in Diablo.
So there was a thing that you created a team on at a BlizzCon, and you go in there and you PvP against another team, a competitive arena, just like WoW. That you could at one of the BlizzCons, I forget if I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer than that, because it was in one of the initial renditions of Diablo 3, and that is not a part of the game.
Well, no, because they realized it's impossible. Before that even released, they already had PvP in Diablo, and they couldn't make it balance.
That's one thing
No,
Blizzard.
they didn't,
That's one
because
thing
you couldn't
Blizzard's
even
not
duel
very
each
good
other
at.
in Diablo 3. That is not true at all. They allowed dueling later as a feature. You could not initially duel in Diablo 3. That was not a feature at all. You could not PvP at all.
After it, even still, you can physically not balance it in ARPG.
I don't disagree with that at all.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand with the point you're trying to make, because you keep jumping around.
So I don't agree that you physically cannot balance PvP in an ARPG. I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form.
How are you going to balance it and still have it be equivalent to PvE? You can't do it in WoW either.
There's your problem. Why would you try to make it equivalent to PvE? It's not PvE, it's PvP. PvP has nothing to do with PvE. You should not be trying to make them the same.
You're not trying to make them the same, but it's the same as WoW. When they nerf something, they have to think about it in a PvE and a PvP standpoint.
If you attempt to keep them in the same train of thought, yes, you do. If you do not, no, you don't.
And that is also an incorrect statement, because that's no longer the case in WoW, because it's completely separate. You have a skill set based in PvP in WoW, and you have a skill set based in PvE. They're completely two separate things now. And as soon as you enter PvP combat, your skill set goes to one side or the other. You can even go into PvP right now. You can go flag and go to a thing, and your HP changes based off of it. I mean, everything changes. You get new skills and everything.
Yes, but you still have your base skills. Like if I go into PvP on my balance druid, I'm still gonna have Starfall. I'm gonna have Wrath. I just have a different tiles.
They are now modified by the change in stats that has occurred, and the change to the raw base data to where they are balanced for PvP, and that's the point. Just because you're using the same skills doesn't mean you're playing the exact same way you were playing before. And that's exactly how you balance it, by the way. You set it up as a completely separate system based around what you're trying to accomplish. So when you enter this mode of the game, a whole new base set of stats occurs. And if your abilities are set up to work off of this base set of stats, then it works in either, in PvE as well as it does in PvP, because they're based off of percentages of your base stats. You get what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
That's how you fix it. Now, if you try to so let's look at Path of Exile, right? You got some classes that can burst out fucking 250,000 plus damage, and you got some classes that are just going to sit there and provide auras. You're not going to balance that. But can it be balanced into a PvP system? Yes, it can. It requires a little bit of thought, a little bit of ingenuity, and taking your time and separating. Okay, this is PvE. Here's how things work in PvE. This is how they're going to work in PvP. And okay, if we want to accomplish that, how do we need to adjust the stats where this translates to this? Okay, that's how we do it. When we enter PvP mode, the stats are translated to these, and now we have our PvP stats versus our PvE stats.
I agree. I think that Path of Exile would be 10 times harder to balance.
Oh, absolutely. Just because the number of passes.
I can put any type of gem the fuck that I want in any piece of gear. It doesn't matter if it's going to help me or not. I can still have it there. And there can be small niches to where that's going to be beneficial toward me in a PvP setting toward another player. And that is so hard to balance around every possible. I mean, what is there? 500 fucking gems? How many combinations is that? I mean, it's exponentiated by the amount of sockets in the gear, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I agree. It would be super fucking hard. But in PvP, there has to be a rule set. Just like in football, there's a rule set. Just like in baseball, there's a rule set. There has to be something to govern around. Or sports are just like, well, I'm going to take a gun like the last Boy Scout and shoot the guys I'm running into the end zone. Strange analogy, but I think it works. Anyway, BlizzCon is on Friday, November the 3rd and Saturday, November the 4th. And I do think they're going to announce the next Blizzard expansion, of course. I really think they're going to announce the new Diablo Universe title. And I'm really excited what they're going to actually, unveil for us. Fuck, give me Warcraft 4. I will be so happy for that.
I don't know that you'll ever see a Warcraft 4.
I don't think we will either.
No, they said they've already hinted at not doing a remake of Warcraft 4. If they do anything, they would remaster Warcraft 3.
Well, they're extending the Warcraft story from Warcraft 2, 3 into World of Warcraft. So, I mean, they would have to go from the story of World of Warcraft into World of Warcraft 4 for it to be real,
I think I think that's why they've separated it where, you'll never see a StarCraft MMO because StarCraft is now their turn-based. You'll never see a Warcraft turn-based again because it's now their MMO. That's kind of where I see the stretch with the Diablo is because Diablo is their action RPG. So, rather than taking that and trying to translate it into this other world, which they could and still be able to make action RPGs because of the way Diablo works, I don't see them doing it. The main things that I see them focusing on at BlizzCon this year will be Hearthstone, Overwatch, the WoW expansion, and minor tweaks and upgrades to D3.
I think they're going to announce D4.
I hope they do. I really do hope they do.
That is what I think. They are going to announce the Diablo title. I can almost guarantee that. Now, is it going to be the MMO? I've been wrong before. I didn't expect pandas. But, I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be D4. It's been fucking 10 years, man, and they can do so much more. How do I say this? With the success that Final Fantasy 15 has had in a fully 3D world using action RPG elements, I feel that they could use that type of engine as going forward with an action RPG Diablo style.
Well, the only reason I don't see Diablo 4 right now, if possibly at all, is because I think that they believe they've lost a large enough market share to the likes of games like Path that are free to play that they are going to have to redesign their revenue avenues with how they're going to fund that game.
Cut out. They're going to have to do something.
They're going to have to redesign their revenue routes to how they're going to fund that game to compete with this one.
Or decide to make it more in depth like Path is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Path has updates every 3 months. New stuff gets added to the game. They release 2 expansions a year.
And then that's the thing is with it being free to play and with the amount of market share it's garnered, that is a very serious detriment of competition that Blizzard is going to have to figure out how they're going to handle. And right now their business model is not set up for that. I'm not saying that they're not intelligent enough to or that they won't, because they're a very capable company. It's a question of, are they willing to go that far? And thus far, with what I've seen them do with D3, it does not appear that way.
So,
yeah. I mean,
that's just my personal opinion. I could be 100% wrong. I do think that it's going to be like a D4 thing, though. Just my opinion. And I also think that they're going to do a Diablo 2 remaster.
I can see a Diablo.
I for sure see a Diablo 2 remaster, especially because they just did StarCraft.
I can see a Diablo 2 remaster. I don't know if I see a Diablo 2 remaster or a Diablo 3. I would personally hope that we got Diablo 2, personally. I think Diablo 3 is more likely.
I'd be okay with D3 if they brought more classes in, like they brought next.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Warcraft. I'm thinking about Warcraft. Anyways, Diablo 2, yes, I can fully see doing a Diablo 2 or even a Diablo 1 remaster.
already done that, didn't they?
Not that I'm aware of. They might
I
have.
swore that there was an event. There was
an anniversary event for D1
Yeah, yeah.
where they did it in D3, and you could like go back and fucking play the whole thing with
Yeah,
your
yeah, I
character.
remember that, but it wasn't a full-on remaster.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't play it. I have no idea about it at all. All I know is they redid it, and I saw some gameplay footage, and it looked actually so nostalgic.
No, I could see them remastering Warcraft 2. I could see them remastering Warcraft 3. I think Warcraft 3 is more likely. I could see them doing it with D1 and or D2, and both would probably be intelligent choices. I mean, at this point, you know, you got like the NES Classic and the SNES Classic and shit like that coming back. It is the time of retro in games where they're trying to reintroduce, you know, all of what would be considered my childhood to this generation that never got to experience any of that, and the new generations that are coming up. And those things are selling like fucking hotcakes in a fucking frenzy.
Oh yeah, NES sold out so fast.
What'd you say?
The NES.
No,
when
no,
they
no.
first
I heard you.
released-
Somebody else said something?
Oh, I just said because they were so good. Those games were so
Yeah,
good at
yeah.
their times.
And the thing is that's fantastic to me because you know what? It finally lets people see what good games were instead of the shit that we call final products these days.
I mean, we launched Final Fantasy VII that had 300 hours on a disc outside of leveling, outside of in-game. 300 fucking hours. People nowadays get 100 hours on a fucking disc, and that's a complete game. While I understand that the stretch of graphical capabilities and things like that takes a toll on the like disc space and stuff, I'm not trying to like incorporate that. I'm talking about talking about like overall, it's taking me this amount of time to dedicate toward this game to be able to complete it 100%. You know what I mean? And I'm an RPG fan, so I look at it differently than maybe some people do. But RPGs aren't like they used to, or aren't like they used to be.
RPGs, quite frankly, don't hardly exist anymore.
The only RPG that I know that has any type of throwback is the Eternity of Eden. Or hold on,
With the compression capabilities nowadays, like there's no reason that people shouldn't be able to do games like they used to with updated graphics. They just don't out of laziness and want for the money grubbing.
Well, because they know people are going to buy it. As long as people keep buying it, they're going to keep putting it out that way.
There's nothing else to play. It's just buy it.
Edge of Eternity. If you guys have not seen that game, fucking look at it because it is gorgeous and it is a throwback to turn-based RPGs that we fucking need if y'all are a fan of them.
So Breath of the Wild is a game that has done a very fantastic job of taking the classic quintessential game that's always existed and bringing it up to date with current technologies and saying, look, this style of storytelling, this style of gameplay is still desired. And it has broken the fucking record books wide open again. And hopefully it's going to be one of the games that's leading the way to say, look, this still works and it works very fucking well. This is what we need to go back to so that all of our gamers are not pissed off at our company all the fucking time.
I played the shit out of Xanadu, the NES.
I don't know if I've ever played that before. What's it called again?
Xanadu, Dragon Slayer game.
I'd have to look. I don't remember it, honestly.
Released in 1989, I think.
Whenever I was that small, I played a lot of regular Mario and Duck Hunt and Contra. And there was a game that you shot the screen with. Another one that had like those two players. You shoot tanks and helicopters. A lot
That's
of
Commando.
gold edition Zelda. You know, regular
Oh
Zelda.
yeah, gold-plated Zelda.
Yeah, my mom has the fucking burn. She can tell me on her memory every bush that you have to burn in the fucking Lost World. Not even the regular world, the Lost World. My mom like memorized. She owns like every Zelda. But anyway,
Yeah.
she got me into that shit and fucking Final Fantasy 1. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like hardcore into RPGs back then. I was just a little noob gamer. We played Super Off-Road on the Super Nintendo. Me and JD used to play Super Off-Road so much that we were like, all right, I'm going to go backwards and make sure that I'm going to hit all of these guys and we're gonna get the absolute highest score that you can get for this many games in a row, just to max out the points that are available. Me and JD used to actually do this shit. You remember that?
Yep.
Awesome, man. Oh man, such a good game. I miss Super Off-Road.
Oh yeah, I totally meant to mention this earlier. I feel like if they do announce a new Diablo, it's still gonna be like a year or two fucking off though, because they literally just released the fucking Necromancer, and I remember they announced that at the last BlizzCon.
Well, to make a new Diablo, they'd have to hire an entirely new Diablo team, because currently the Diablo team has been completely cut and dispersed. That's why it took so long to get the Necromancer made.
It's not like they're gonna quit funding Diablo 3 if they make something else. Diablo 2 still has open servers right now. You can go play right now. I mean, there's an open market for fucking Stones of Jordan in Diablo 2 right now.
There always will be. There's people that refuse to play D3 that only play D2 still.
The thing about that though is that doesn't mean that they're devoting any funding towards it. That means that they still have a server farm that's running that code. That it's being maintained. It's not being content upgraded.
Well,
and if it is,
every so often
right?
as well.
That's what I'm saying. If it is, there is a legacy system, sort of like how there was for EverQuest for a long time, before Sony went back and said, you know what? We're going to start funding this again, and we're going to start pumping out expansions because we're getting enough money off of this still. But there was a long time where EverQuest was basically put into maintenance mode, right? And that's pretty much where D2 is right now.
I guess.
Blizzard needs to get in that microtransaction game. They started to do it on WoW with the transmog helmets and stuff, and then Overwatch has the chests that you can buy. Same with HOTS.
Blizzard does not need microtransactions. Yes, it helps them.
They're so good.
No, I do not doubt that. I do not say that. You say need, though. They do not need that. Yes, it helps them out. They make more money than any other MMO platform in the world. Square is the closest one to them right now.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, so Path of Exile is purely based off microtransactions.
Yeah, and they do.
Why couldn't they do that with D3? Well, Diablo in general, if other ARPGs are going to be microtransaction based.
But you also pay $60 a pop for an expansion, or 30 or 40 or however much it was. Well, you don't have to do that with Path.
Yeah, but you gotta think. All right, so if they made Diablos were free and they brought in microtransactions, there's people that spend thousands of dollars on Path because they just buy the new sets that come out every single time. They release every season. They release a $60 and $100 pack. People buy it all the time.
So I'm not gonna make a point. I'm not trying to make a point when I ask this question. I'm asking this legitimately. Do you think the people that buy those packs add up more than the amount of people that bought the Necromancer upgrade?
I'm going to answer that question absolutely.
Yes, for sure.
It's already statistically proven that microtransactions far out profit any form of subscription-based or box-based service. That's been proven for the past 20 years.
GGG is making bank when you have to spend $5 to buy a crate.
20 years, that seems like a stretch considering the fact that people tried to reach for subscription-based content because it was the absolute best way to go.
You got to think about what 20 years is now. 20 years takes us all the way back to good old 1997. Guess where microtransactions started in 1997? Ultima Online.
Dominoes on EverQuest 1.
Ultima Online. Microtransactions for buying and being able to buy and sell gold.
Yeah, but that was illegal.
No, they were the first company that started legally in 1997, allowing through their own market the purchase of gold, since it was.
Ultima Online didn't allow that.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. That was right after we got banned, and we were talking about that. You could go in and you could buy gold directly from Origin because they were tired of all the gold sellers. That's how they went to combat it, is they started selling it themselves. That if you were to buy it from someone else, you would get banned. So instead, we'll sell it as a company.
Blizzard pretty much doing the same thing with the tokens now. Even if it wasn't tons of microtransactions, if it was just like skill changes, skill effect changes, wing, people still gonna buy it. It makes the skill look cooler.
The thing about it is if you look at mobile platforms, and they're the ones that have really taken advantage of microtransactions, right?
Oh, Summoner's War is making a killing.
These little penny and dollar and nickel and dime transactions. And then you've got games like Eve, that started saying, okay, well, you can pay for your subscription with money. And that caught on, hardcore, and a lot of game companies do that now. Microtransactions absolutely out-earn subscription models. They really do.
Mobile games are making bank.
Well, I'm looking it up right now, and it says that never happened.
Hold on, let me go get it for you, because there's an entire report on it from Marquee Dragon.
So, like, whenever Origin switched to EA, they never do it, and they still have not done it to this day. It's still a subscription base, and they've never gone microtransaction ever, from what I'm reading. Anyway, I mean, it honestly doesn't even matter what we're talking about, because I don't know the statistic. That's why I was, like, curious about the question. Like, if microtransactions were more profitable than a subscription base, then why didn't all the AAA companies try to go microtransaction initially instead of going subscription based?
Because there's a risk versus the reward.
What's that?
It's the fear
risk versus reward. If you have a subscription for $15 a month, you're guaranteed that $15 a month. If you have 50 items in your shop and they didn't understand, all right, what can we sell that's going to sell well, where we're not fucking up and making our game pay to win, right? That's the big one. Is if your game goes pay to win, people are going to get pissed, right?
And then you lose players.
So the thought and the introduction of all of the what do you call it? We talk about it all the time. Clothing, skins, vanity items. The introduction of mass vanity items in MMO worlds and MMO markets is what really caught fire with microtransactions. Mounts, things like that. Things that don't affect actual gameplay. You look at the entire basis of EverQuest 2 and how many microtransactions exist, and that carried over back into EverQuest 1 retroactively eventually. Microtransactions are what is coming to all games. All games will eventually go to that plan.
I think they should. I love microtransactions because then I get to choose what I want to.
And another thing that has ushered in, lower costs and things like that is Steam, with its ability to market indie developers against AAA. Why did they do it in the past? Because they could. They held the market hostage. There was no one to compete with them, and they were the gods of the market. And they said, "This is how it is. This is how it's going to be." Cool. And you've also got a lot of hybrid models, and I think those work very effectively as well, by the way.
It's kind of like H1Z1, PlayerUnknown's Battleground. You have to pay the base for the game, and then there's microtransactions. I buy weapon skins on H1 and CSGO, making double money off of you.
So I'm reading this thing right here that says the Katava package, which I have no idea what that is, apparently costs $480. The amount of people that have bought that compared to the people that have bought the Necromancer package is about $6 million less. And this is not counting any other package that Gear Grinding Games has to sell. So I'm sure that there are a lot more people that bought the cheaper thing because, of course, it's cheaper.
Yeah, and on top of that, you can buy those packs when you've already spent money on other things because they reduce the price.
I would guarantee you that GGG has made more money off their stash tabs alone than they have any package they've ever sold.
I have no idea. Like I've said many times, I'm not trying to argue.
No,
one
no,
way or
no.
the other.
I'm
bringing
just
information.
I'm presenting data. The stash tabs are one of those things that's like you want to have it. It's almost a necessity. You don't.
I want that goddamn. What's it called? The one that you can put your orbs in or
Right,
whatever.
the currency tab.
Currency.
Yeah,
And
Oh, it's like
that's what I'm getting at. Things like that, you know, it's $5. What the fuck's $5? I'm gonna go spend that on a burger. You know what I mean? Those are very small purchases. Millions of people make those, and
Plus, they do sales every day.
and so when you look at things like that, so the same people that bought those tabs also turned around and some of them bought those, you know, those packages, and also turned around and bought additional tabs and also bought extra character slots. Did they buy them all up front? No, they bought them in little bits and pieces because it's cheaper. It's easier to swallow. You know what I'm saying? Rather than forking out $60 or whatever. Now, given
Hey,
the
10
necromancer,
bucks here and there.
the necromancer is very cheap, right? It's like $15, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was 30.
Okay, so there you go, $30. So and if you think about it, that is Diablo introducing microtransactions. Here, you can buy this class now if you want it.
And stash tab,
So
character slot.
the thing I see right here for the necromancer, the closest estimate anybody have is $478 million for necromancers. Path of Exile beat that?
Look it up. The same way you look that up.
I can't find anything on that. I'm trying to find nobody has any information on how much money Gear Grinding Games makes. Apparently.
I mean, just from the information you guys have told me so far, they're releasing a new update for this game every 3 months. And Blizzard's laying off their D3 team because D3 is not doing very well. So that tells me that Grinding Gear Games is making a lot more money off of their game than D3 is making off of theirs.
Well, that's what they said the same thing about. And I'm not trying to argue one way. I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here. People said the same exact thing about Square Enix and Final Fantasy XIV because they're running a subscription-based model as well, where WoW quadrupled the amount of money, and WoW is going to the shitter. Man, WoW is failing. Well, they still made fucking 4 times as much money as anybody else, the next closest person. Blizzard is doing something because they have the clientele over the years. And anybody that knows anything about selling things is if you have a clientele that can continue to buy things, it's a good thing to have. My opinion, 100% my opinion. They have.
I didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat that?
My personal opinion is Blizzard has people hooked to their products because of the longevity of them having successful games and them having the longevity of a certain game, WoW specifically, to where I don't want to move because I've been dedicated to this and we're still doing new things in this.
Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that Blizzard's business model is not extremely solid and extremely profitable. It absolutely is. They're not idiots. They know what they're doing. And they prove every day that their business model absolutely works. That's not to take away from what I said earlier either. Microtransactions are the way of the future, and most likely what will honestly be is going to be a hybridization of subscription-based, if you want to have certain features automatically unlocked, or just pay for the pieces that you want type of thing. That's going to become more and more common for your lesser established and honestly for your more willing to take the risk companies. You look at, for example, Star Citizen, you look at Crowfall, you look at almost any major MMO that's about to come out. All of them are going to have subscription-based options, but they're not going to be subscription-based. That's the only way you get to play.
It's like Elder Scrolls Online. They're doing exactly that.
Yeah, but Elder Scrolls is God.
They shot themselves in the dick.
I loved playing that game. I loved it. I did. God, that game was so fun. Were we not having fun?
Yeah, it was a cool game.
Until they made, well, it doesn't matter if you level anymore. Well, but I'm not playing this game anymore. Pretty much exactly what fucking happened. Guess what? Leveling doesn't matter. No, playing this game doesn't matter to me anymore. The only thing that I can see is that Blizzard's pretty fucking profitable, and and I've been looking through here for about the past 6 pages. Apparently, Gear Grinding Games is doing well, but they do not put their financial information out there.
Are they allowed?
I have no idea, dude.
They're
They might
from,
not be allowed because aren't they in New Zealand?
they're from New Zealand, yes.
So they may not. Their laws may permit them from, or not permit them to.
The only thing that the closest thing that any type of metric that I can find is if says if I've spent over $150 on Path of Exile, which over a period of time based off of things that you need to be efficient would equate to WoW subscription. I don't know if that's accurate because I don't know the cost of maintaining proper gameplay in Path.
I would say currency stash tab, essence stash tab, quad tab, plus at least 8 premium stash tabs, and maybe 8 regular stash tabs, so 20 total stash tabs.
How much do those each cost?
I'll tell you right now, I'm gonna go in and look.
The fuck's the difference between premium and regular stash tabs?
Premium can be linked to PoE.trade for selling.
Interesting.
You can upgrade a regular stash tab to a premium stash tab for 15 points, or you can buy a single premium stash tab, which is 40 points, so it's $4. Do you want 8? That's what, $32?